All right, so the Fed starts their two-day meeting today, December 9th, 2025. They will wrap up tomorrow, Wednesday, December 10th, and share their announcement about Fed funds rates. They are expected to cut by 25 basis points. And here's a website, CME Group, their Fed Watch, if you want to check it out for more information. What I'm going to do is look at the broad markets to see how they're behaving and point to some key levels to monitor, okay, on the charts ahead of these moves. Now, I'm going to use the E-mini S&P 500 and the other E-mini futures for Nasdaq and the Dow, and look at these three markets to see where things are at. I'm going to look at candlesticks, that's price action, momentum, my favorite indicator, the RSI power zones, and our bottom axis for forecasting, because I'm HEMA ready and that's what I do. So looking at the ES daily chart, you can see that we've been recovering off the low from November 21st. We pierced the high from October 12th, but have not been able to close above it. So this is a great reminder about the significance of your support and resistance levels. If your price action touches a support or resistance, it doesn't automatically mean anything. It could test it like it did here and then hang out. It could blast right through, or it could touch it and then reverse in the other direction. So what you always want to look at is what is the follow-up price action, and that's generally the next 1 to 2 sessions. So in this case, a daily chart, that's the next 1 to 2 days. So right now I'm looking and we are still staying beneath that high. However, we are not really pushing significantly lower. So the support that's shaping the whole short-term bullish story on ES futures is the low from December 1st at 6802. So let's do the same thing looking at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq chart is super similar. It also tested the November 12th high. Did it break above it? It did. But look at how on 2 individual days, it traded above that level on an intraday basis, but did not post a closing break above. What I mean by closing break, if you're newer to trading, is that we would need to see a green body on the candle where the closing hash mark, okay, the top of the green body is above the level in question. Didn't get it. So we're still hanging out and consolidating here. Now for this chart, I'm going to go down to 60-minute time frame because I'm not as familiar with it and I want to see what the intraday levels are of support. And yes, we have a significant support down here. So I'm going to mark it on the intraday, come back to the daily and find the date, and that is December 1st. So while we stay above the December 1st low, there's a good chance NQ futures trade higher. But if they start to get below the low from December 4th and especially follow through below December 1st, we're looking at a journey probably back towards that November 21st range. All right, now let's look at the YM futures. Now that's the Dow YMZ25, and this has the least stocks in it, right? It has about 30 stocks in it, the Dow, whereas the Nasdaq 100 is 100, S&P 500 is 500. So here we have a journey that came back to the November 12th high, but in the case of the Dow, the November 12th high was like the high for recent times. So it's much more significant in terms of if we're able to get above that level. So I'm going to look at both the high and the low as well as the midpoint. Now, when you look at this, the Dow is looking healthier, stronger, more bullish than the S&P and Nasdaq. The support I would still monitor is the low from December 2nd, okay? And I think that it's got a better chance of continuing higher, at least to the middle of the November 12th range, which is at 48,273. Now, remember, the Fed news is going to come out at 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, December 10th. So it's likely, not guaranteed, that there'll be quieter trading until that news. And then if you're new to trading, be prepared, be very careful, if at all, about having a trade on intraday at 2 p.m. Eastern, because there might be a wild candle that goes up and down and sideways. And then when the press conference starts from Jay Powell, and we listen to the words he says about the future pace of rate hikes, because that's what's more important in the big picture, that's where even more action may come in. So the whole afternoon on Wednesday, December 10th may be a little dicey. Be careful, all right? So if you found value in this video, levels to monitor if you trade these markets or watch the broad market, tips about your support and resistance or more, go ahead and click that like button, and I'll catch you in the next video.